Hello, world. It's October 3rd, 2024, and this is the weekly Backdrop Dev meeting. My name is Nate Lampton. I'm Quick Sketch on the internet, and I'm the tech lead for the Backdrop CMS project. We've got a little group here today. Not a whole lot of topics, but we'll just kind of roll along and see how it goes. We're going to be talking a little bit about the 129.1 release, which we'll try to get out in the near future. But yeah, we'll start off with some introductions of the folks here. Let's see. So if everybody could just say your name, if you have anything of particular interest today, and where you're from. We'll start off with Olaf, and then we'll go to Martin.
Okay, hi, I'm Olaf from Hamburg in Germany, and yeah, I'm just chiming in or looking in, and no special interest for today.
Thanks, Olaf. We'll go to Martin, and then Joseph.
I am Martin, Backdrop developer in Northeast England, United Kingdom, and I mainly work in the contrib space, and hoping to sort of get some guidance on how we deal with a emerging issue there. So,
Great, thanks, Martin. Joseph, and then Eli.
Hi, I'm Joseph. I'm a developer from Las Vegas, Nevada, and a core committer for Backdrop.
Thanks, Joseph. And finally, Eli.
Hi, my name is Eli. I'm a developer calling from San Diego, California.
Great, thanks, Eli. All right, we don't have Jen here today, so I'll do the contrib update. We've had 4 new contrib projects have been released in the last week. Web form term options, web form HTML area, text style, and entity reference filter. So great to see those contrib projects continuing to roll in. We've got Backdrop 129.1 is going to be a priority for us. It's been a couple of weeks now since the Backdrop 129 release, which was September 15th. And we do have a big issue. Well, we have an issue that we'd like to resolve as quickly as possible. It's 6717. It has to do with translation, the list of translations available for Backdrop when you run the installer. One of the main new features in 129 is the ability to download translations before you run the installer so that it will run through the entire installer and all of Backdrop with the translations all in place without doing any manual downloading. It's just part of the user interface now. But that download capability, the whole point of the feature, doesn't work in the 129 release because of a difference in versioning numbers. And so issue 6717 has a pull request that fixes this issue, and we'd like to get it merged and released as soon as possible. So once we get this issue completed, we'll make the 129.1 release. I think timeline wise, I think we can try to shoot for this weekend. I think would be an excellent time to get that done. So maybe let's shoot for Sunday. That will be 3 days from now. We can try to get out that 129.1 release. In the meantime, of course, we want to get this issue fixed, but there's also other issues in the 129 milestone that we can try to get completed as well. There's 3 issues in the RTBC queue. I'll try to go through those and get them merged as well. So yeah, 129.1, we'll kind of work towards that. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot of topics for today, but Martin, do you want to talk about this question that you had about having 2 different versions of domain access module that are in the works and what to do about them?
yeah, so I started porting the domain access module quite a while ago, and Tim joined in and his team did some, but we never really sort of had it fully working, and other commitments has sort of limited the time we could spend on it. But another developer has had a bit more success than we have, and has sort of got, I mean, it still needs quite a bit of work, but it seems to be doing the main job a bit better than what we had achieved. But I think he's basically taken it from the D7 branch and done all his work. So we've got completely unrelated Git histories after we've gone from the D7 branch. And it's trying to work out how we can add this branch in, not necessarily completely discarding the current branch yet, but add this other branch in so we can start working on it and doing. And I've been sort of looking at different options, sort of around how I could do this locally and merge and force. But I'm wondering if any the expertise around the room here has any advice on how to do this.
Where's this work happening? Is this in the domain contrib project?
Yeah. So
I see.
That's where we want to move it. And this other guy, it's Rudy. Rudy 880719. So he's released a couple of other contrib projects. So he's already in the contrib authors group. So adding him in is not going to be a problem. It's just it's just trying to get that working, because I'm fairly sure that trying to do it in the GitHub UI will just basically say there's too many merge conflicts. You can't merge it in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be tricky because you've both started from a common place, but then you've added totally different commits. And so there's probably a lot of, deviated lines where you guys both may have changed something and changed it in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to make his branch the new main branch?
Probably, yeah.
So, since you have common history at some point in the past, you might be able to create. You might be able to check out his branch and then push it to the Backdrop contrib repository as a new branch.
Yeah, I would say if his work is coming along a lot better or was more complete than your current branch, take the current branch that you have right now, which is 1.x-3.x, and move it. So you can do that locally by doing git branch move. I can't remember if it's
I think it's -m.
-m.
-m, yeah.
Yeah, and move it to 1.x-3.x- or temp or something. And then push that up to GitHub, and then you'll have that that branch there. And then let's see, I'm trying to think of how this will work. And then you could add his branch as a remote. And then I'm trying to think of how you would pull that down. I guess you would just say git fetch his branch name if it's also 1.x-3.x.
You can do git fetch and then the name you gave for his remote, and then you can git check out his remote name / the branch name, and then it'll put you on that, and then you can just do a git push with a different origin, or you can change the remote URL and do a git push.
Yeah, and
Mm.
from there, now you've got both his work and your work in the same repository on two different branches. And if there's anything you want out of your current branch, that that is in a discrete commit, at least you could cherry pick out the individual commits
Yeah.
into
So do I-
the new branch.
Can I just check out his branch entirely into my local?
Mhm.
I don't. It's not going to have any of the current. It's not going to be based on the current branch. It's just going to be Is that right? A completely independent branch pulled from his?
So what you want to do is you can commit to the backdrop contrib repository, right?
Yeah.
So you probably want to check out that and add his as an extra as a remote repository. So
Yeah.
um yeah, I could like make instructions on how to do this.
Yeah.
You're muted, Nate.
Where is his remote? Is it in his personal account?
Yeah, in his personal account.
What's the name of his username?
Rudy 880719.
Rudy as in RUDY.
Yeah,
Okay, and what are the numbers again?
880719.
88019. I don't think I got that right. 887.
0719. I'll put the link in.
Okay. Yeah, here. Okay, here we go. So we've got two things. We got Rudy's domain module, and we've got the backdrop contrib one.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start clean here because I don't think I have that. Oops, get clone. Okay, so now I've got a copy of domain, and in the remotes, got origin, and then we'll take Rudy's. Git remote add. Okay, and so now we've got two
Yeah.
remotes.
Yeah. So I think I got that far, but then no further. I got stuck when I tried to merge it.
Okay, so now we've got those two, and then git fetch. So now we've got, okay, what do we got here? Match 2, remote tracking match, okay.
You have to specify Rudy / the branch name.
Oh yeah. Okay, so now, yeah, so now we've got both of them.
Okay.
And so I think that I'm not quite sure how you move a remote branch though. Joseph, do you have any suggestions on that? I think I would probably just
you
force
do,
push it.
You do git hang on. It's like git push set origin. Hang on. Oh, you might have to force push the rename of the old branch first and then push the new branch.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that would work, but it wouldn't be very clean, is that, I mean, you could just git push the old branch up, so that would make it so that you'll end up with two branches here that will be both
Yeah,
the old and the new one. Or
yeah,
sorry, that will just be the old one twice.
yeah,
And then you could just git push the new branch with a -F and just like, that would just overwrite what's currently at that branch.
right.
And there you go. Now you've got the new branch and the old branch.
So has what you've done there, that will only have the stuff from the Rudy branch. It's not, by doing it that way, it's not you're not going to get it's not going to try, there's no merging.
Right.
Yeah, I'm curious what will end up happening here if you know sure, like let's try it, uh and
Yeah,
yeah.
that looks like the kind of thing. So yeah, it does look like that's right. That's really helpful.
So let's see here. Yeah, I don't think I'm set up right now to do a merge on my local PHP storm, but yeah, it would take some effort to
Yeah, but no, I don't. I think if we can then do so I should be able to do a push F to backdrop contrib with that with basically the one from Rudy as the new one if I've moved it. Okay, that's useful.
Great. Now I'm just gonna
Thank
leave this
you.
merge conflict. I'm just gonna delete that directory.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't want to mess with that. Oh, I bet my backdrop site's gonna be totally borked if I try to turn that on.
Yeah.
Bunch of conflicted PHP files. All right, let's see. Oh, here's just an interesting. This is just going off on a total tangent, but it's something that has been brought up at my work this week, which is menus. That menus in Backdrop and in Drupal are historically really difficult and confusing. The one thing that tons of people want is they want a they want the menu structure to match the URL aliases. And so, like, let's say I take this test page and I put it underneath about, then what people expect is that about is at /about, and then test is at about/test. This is what they typically would want, right? This is what the URL should be. And by virtue of moving this underneath test, they want the URL alias to like automatically update. So I moved where it is in the menu, and so the URL alias should automatically be updated. We're in a pretty good position to make something like that happen inside of Backdrop because, well, first of all, we have Path Auto in core as part of Path module, and we have redirects in core as well. And so if I move this manually to about/test, okay, now it's at about/test, and we can like that. The process of just changing it also set up a redirect. So when I go to /test, it goes to /about/test. What I think we may not have, first of all, is we may not actually have a token for the menu. I might be wrong about this, and maybe somebody can
Yes.
help me. Do we have a
Is-
token for
I
this?
think there is, yeah.
We could use
so
a
I think it's
search.
under content.
Content.
Where is it? Menu link and parent.
Oh yeah, menu
So I
link
think
parents.
you can get the kind of like the join path.
Oh, you already got it.
Great. This is it. Node menu link parents join path. And is there any trick there? Join with the slash.
And then I think you want the nodes. You want the node title, don't you? Which
Oh, right, right.
After a slash, / and then
Yeah, you're right. Because I want that also. Like that. Okay. Great. Let's give that a shot. Okay, so now let's try. We'll add another page. Test 2. We're gonna add it to menu. We're gonna put under about. Save. Wow. I love it when things are easy, right? Okay. So we have achieved this. Okay. So now that's there. And if I were to edit this and move this to another thing, so we're gonna move it under home just for kicks. Oh, I'm not sure what that's gonna do because home is special. Let's move it under example instead. Okay, so we have achieved that. And now let's go to test. So about. So this has created a redirect, hopefully. Great. Okay, so all of this works. This is fantastic. But the caveat that everybody was concerned about, and maybe this is not as big a concern as it would be in Drupal, but was that sometimes you have multiple menus. Like you might have a footer menu in addition to a header menu. So let's go over here to menus, and we're going to add a menu for footer. And in the footer, we're now going to add another link here for that example or test 2. And the link here is test 2. And sure. So now what we've got here is, okay, let's go back to test 2. Oh, this is really interesting, actually. It's not an issue at all, I don't think, because we might need to also enable the footer menu onto the node form. But yeah, I'm like looking at this going, because if I resave this, it's not going to use the footer menu suddenly. It knows.
Yeah, because it's not allowed. So you have to allow the footer menu for the content type.
But overall, like as long as you don't do that,
yeah.
It wouldn't be a problem. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's turn on footer. This is going to be great because footer alphabetically is before primary navigation too. Menu. Okay, now here we go. So now if we add it to footer, okay, so now, okay. Now this is actually extra confusing because it looks like it doesn't realize that this is itself. And so you can actually put it underneath itself, which is kind of weird. But sure, let's put it here inside a footer. Okay, now it's at the root. And it's no longer okay, but that's because there's only one of them. Okay, I'm gonna run out of places where I can put this before I start running into redirect loops, probably. Huh. Okay, I'm having a real trouble actually reproducing any kind of concern here. The issue is that you could potentially put a menu or a piece of content into two menus, and then that joined path token, I would have thought, would struggle to understand which one it should take into account. But and I thought there was some kind of loading order issue here too, but in the world of Backdrop, like it seems to correctly remember if I've set it under, this navigation or this menu or this one, like they're separate somehow. Man,
Could you intentionally try to create a redirect loop?
yeah, I pretty much just did. Where so right now there's redirects at about test2 and about test/test2. So if I were to move this back under about, that would create a read. Is that, wait, would that work?
Well, it removed the example one. I think it's removing them to avoid redirect loops.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's the example. Yeah. Okay. So let's do that. So let's put it back under about. And that's there. So that's correct. And then if we look at the redirects,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
the about.
dynamically fixing the redirect loops.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
Way to go, Backdrop. But one thing that let's try this. I don't think that we accommodate restructuring the menu. So let's go to the primary navigation. And if I move it here, this is not going to be, see, it's still under about, even though hierarchically it's now under example. So this is test2, but it still has the URL about. And
Yeah, but
so,
if you resave, I think it should be
yeah,
fixed.
yeah, now,
Resave the node.
yeah. So let's see. Because, yeah, it already has moved it here. So yeah, now it's fixed, or it's no longer under about in the URL path. But we could improve this, by making it so that when you reorder them here, you'd probably need a confirmation page, right? Because this just saves it. To also say, this will change these URL paths. Do you want to confirm that? But overall, like, this is actually in a really pretty good shape.
Yeah, also it will only change the URL path if you have this special token in it. So, but maybe it would be an idea to discuss to put that token in the as a default in the content type configuration of pages, because I think at the moment there's only node title as a token for the menu. And putting this menu related token, maybe it makes more sense.
Oh, that we should out of the box change the
Yeah.
pattern to the
Yeah,
pattern
because
that we
I
have
think
here.
it's very difficult to find this token for people who don't know Drupal or Backdrop very well.
Yeah, considering how well it's working, I would be inclined to agree that that this would be a very natural thing that you'd probably want. That pages should behave in this way. Although, the restructured menu example wouldn't work perfect, but I don't know. I think that that's a pretty minor concern. Like, how often are you doing this level of rearrangement, using this particular approach? And then the solution to fix it of just going and editing each piece of content and resaving it is pretty minor. Or of course you could edit here and fix the paths. Oh wait, oh no, this is This is a menu, not the URL alias, so that is a little trickier. Well, what I was going to suggest that I don't think is necessary based on the way that we're seeing things working here is the one item being put into multiple menus. I thought that this was going to be problematic, and that you need to designate like one of these menus as being like the main menu, because even though this is called like primary navigation, for example, there's nothing really special about this particular menu. Like there's nothing that says this is the menu that must be at the top of your page. You could, if you wanted to, put a different menu at the top of your page. And so how do you know which one of these is the main one? And which one of them would be used in the token? But that is totally mitigated by I'm gonna have to look this up and how this works, but if Backdrop can remember which one you've done on the node form, then it should just use whichever one you've specified at the node level on a per node basis. Still would be totally problematic if you did something like this, that you had two menus and some pieces of content you put into the menu from this interface into one menu, and you put other ones into a different menu. So you had a mix. But if you assembled your footer menu manually from the menu UI and you added your primary navigation through this UI, you wouldn't have any problems. Wow. Well, I thought that was going to be a proposal of like some new problem for us to solve, but I think that it's already fixed. It's already working. Well, great. Thanks for walking through that with me. Let's see. We've got a couple more minutes here. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to talk about?
I refreshed the cache tags issue again.
Oh, that's great.
So,
How are you feeling about it? I remember at one point you were like, "This is really complicated."
so I think it's really hard to test it because, um, like from an end user's perspective, nothing should change at all.
Mhm.
So it's you gotta like basically go look at the cache tables manually to really test it or like write an implementation to test it. So
Shouldn't it be possible to test it by doing something like manually updating a config file? Because the cache should make something persist, like a block. And if you added a custom block, for example, that had a render cache on it, manually modifying the config file wouldn't notify the cache system that it needs to be refreshed, right?
I don't think we have a render cache.
Oh,
Like in
what?
in the modern Drupal version of what that would mean.
Well, what
Hold on.
what are cache tags?
So it essentially it keeps like a record of the number of times a node has been changed, and it'll how would I explain this? So like each node has like node colon 123 is a cache tag, and if you've edited it 12 times, then it'll have the value 12 in it. And so then like a view that lists that node will have that cache tag with that 12 saved in it. And if it doesn't match, it rebuilds the view. So yeah, okay. You could do that by you could manually edit a node in the database.
Like update
And
the title.
right,
Mhm.
using a SQL query, and then confirm that the view doesn't list the new title. And then you could edit and save the node and then confirm that the view does show the new title. So okay, that would work.
Yeah, you'd want to edit and save not the node, because the node will clear its own cache, like even
Right.
without a cache tag. You need to edit and save something else that references the cache tag. Yeah.
Right. So you need like a view that lists the node, and
Mhm.
then you have to manually change the node in the database without using its save and edit form.
So where cache tags are applicable right now is the entity cache is the key thing here. Is that where the
Basically,
main
yeah, it's like
application will be used? Yeah.
it's like its main thing is like when you have a renderable thing inside of another renderable thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think rendering would be the key place. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I'll go and have a look at it. But yeah, some way to test it would
Mhm.
definitely be a big help.
So that's the other thing. The other thing is that I'm getting a bunch of C-spell errors on my PR, but a lot of them are in files that I don't think I changed.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah, that's a common thing.
I
Yeah,
don't know if we.
don't worry about it. Is kind
Okay.
of the the thing for now.
I'll start dealing with it. Hi.
Okay.
Yeah, hi Greg, welcome. We've got just a couple minutes left here, Greg, and it's funny because we've been floundering for issues to talk about, but no longer.
Apologies. It's been months since I touched base, and there's so many things going on, so I haven't. I'm not in touch with things. So apologies. This is going to be the first time that I have nothing. I just joined to see your faces and say hello, and I'm planning to join the Backdrop Live thing. So yeah, I'll try to join the meetings these following weeks.
Excellent. Well, thanks for dropping in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't think we really have any other topics for today. I think we'll go ahead and stop the recording at least, unless you guys have any other last things. No? Okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining today, and we'll see you folks on the internet.